So last week I did a video where I showed you some of the bills from my collection of weird foreign money, including a bill featuring a presidential assassin and a bill featuring the 9 wives of the country's leader. But today I thought we would talk about American money. Specifically, is it too boring? Americans are often a little bit insecure about their money because compared to the money of other countries, it does seem a little bland. And this is because American money has been much more captive to the trends of the 19th century than other countries. See, originally American money was printed using green ink because green ink was considered the hardest color for counterfeiters to reproduce. And the bill designs were full of all of this elaborate woodcut style engraved art just because that was the style of the time. But then those things just became beloved US traditions, and the US government actually became a little bit nervous about changing them. They feared doing anything that would make the US currency look unstable, even changing the design, because of course the US dollar is the most important currency in the world. But that whole attitude does seem to be weakening these days. As you will know if you're an American, from 2003 to 2013, all of the US bills were quite significantly redesigned, getting rid of a lot of the 19th century design elements and adding a touch of color. But was it good enough? A lot of design people say no. So in recent years it has become trendy for design people to come up with their own proposals of how to make US money look more modern and international and designy. There was even a thing called the Dollar Redesign Project a while ago that solicited a lot of design people to come up with their own proposals on how to improve the currency. Let me show you a couple as grouped by their general conclusions on how to make US money look better. So conclusion number 1 seems to be that American money needs more color. Specifically, full color. So here, for example, is a proposed bill design from a guy called Ed Burchick. He thinks US money is basically fine in its general style, it just needs a lot more color. So his bills look very traditional in a lot of ways, but are about 10,000 times more colorful, using not only different colors for every bill, but also full color portraits and logos and graphics. The second conclusion that a lot of design people seem to reach is that American money should go in a different direction. This is actually a surprisingly popular idea, the idea that American money should not go horizontally like it does now, but rather vertically. The design firm Dowling Duncan, which is now known as Mucho, came up with a series of bills that look like this. They are all super duper vertical in design, almost like little lists. In fact, their $10 and $100 bills are literally lists. Their $10 bill has a list of the 10 amendments making up the Constitution's Bill of Rights, and their $100 bill has a summary of President Franklin Roosevelt's first 100 days in office. As you can tell, these guys really like the gimmick of matching up the theme of the bill with the number, which is why they put Obama on the $1 bill, because he's the first black president. Get it? Something tells me that might not go over well with everyone. Which leads to conclusion number 3, a lot of designers think the people on the money needs to be changed. In other countries, they tend to mix up the people that appear on the money fairly regularly, and it's not just political people either. The designer Elvin Wong came up with this series of bills, all of which feature people who have never been on American money before. He's got Martin Luther King on the 1, Peter Jennings on the 5, Neil Armstrong on the 10, Earl Warren on the 20, Steve Jobs on the 50, and J. Robert Oppenheimer on the 100. I think these are pretty creative picks, although I'm sure there would be a lot of controversy over the fact that not a single woman made the cut. The fourth conclusion is pretty much the exact opposite. There should be no people on American money at all. People are just too controversial, and no one is ever happy with who gets chosen. This is basically the conclusion that the Europeans reached, which is why none of their money has people anymore. A guy called Travis Purrington came up with these pretty popular designs for US currency. They have no people at all, and as a result look quite a bit like the euro, as you can see. Travis's idea was that instead of people, American money should celebrate like big American concepts. So his 5 bills are a salute to skill, structure, life, innovation, and nature. While I think these designs are very cool looking, I can't help but feel he's maybe defining Americanness a little too abstractly here. Like, you have to wonder, is there a country in the world that couldn't use his design? And lastly, there is also a sense held by many that American money is too elitist. The bills look too much like the cold, bloodless creation of a heartless government bureaucracy and do not do enough to capture the spirit and culture of the American people. The most radical populist design in this sense came from Julia Perry, who created these bills. Her bills are not only super clean and friendly looking, they do not even attempt to engage with these grand themes of American historic greatness or whatever. They just have simple, charming pictures of generic American people of all races, looking all happy and generic. Of course, if they were ever going to make these kind of bills in real life, they would probably have to use illustrations instead of photos. I mean, imagine what it would be like to buy coffee if you were the woman on the $20 bill. The cashier would be like, So what do you guys think? Which of these designs do you like best? Or do you maybe have your own idea for an even better design? Or maybe, just maybe, you think American currency is fine as it is? Let me know in the comments. I, meanwhile, will be trying to see if I can buy anything with all of this counterfeit money I've made.
No, I'm serious. This is how American money looks now.
Okay.